Hello everyone, this is Coach Lana checking in. So today we are on day 14 of 31 days to healthier eating, and today we're going to tackle the topic of caffeine. Who is in control? And I want to thank you so much for watching this video and joining us. So any of the tips that I give in here, apply it for a day, a week, a month, the rest of your life. It's up to you. This is information for you. And I hope that you're going to dig deeper, because especially with caffeine, I mean, you could spend a lot of time looking up the studies and researching them. So if this is a hot topic for you, please feel free to dig deeper into it. I have some little pieces of information I don't want to forget, so every now and then you'll see my eyes avert because I want to check my notes. So first of all, let us go. Okay, so usually they say that about 3 cups of caffeine of coffee, I'm going to say coffee, is okay a day. Now let's talk about that in milligrams. It's about 300 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're not a coffee drinker, but you tend to be a Monster, Red Bull, I don't know. I don't know the energy drinks that well. I don't drink them for lots of reasons, and we'll address that in another video. But you want to take an assessment of how much caffeine you're actually drinking a day. So they say about 300 milligrams is okay. It's not going to cause you too many problems. So let's touch on that. If you're sensitive to caffeine, if you're pregnant, trying to get pregnant, you're an older adult or a child, you really shouldn't be drinking that much caffeine. And if you're concerned about that and you find that maybe you're very hypersensitive or you're drinking coffee and you're feeling kind of strange, I would definitely consult a medical professional and see if it's something that maybe you should be avoiding. Children, never. They actually get a lot of caffeine. We don't realize that they do in the foods that they eat. So this might be a little assignment, is check candies and gums. Check the foods that you're eating and the medications that you might be taking to see how much caffeine's in them. Alright, so caffeine consumption of 744 milligrams a day has been linked to calcium and magnesium loss. Now this actually, I mean, it's a pretty high amount, but it hasn't caused too much concern in the medical community with younger people. People average age or younger, because usually we're getting enough calcium in our diet anyway. But they have found that if you're an older adult, they found a lot of hip fractures. So be really aware of that if you're older, because for some reason I'm going to say I'm getting up there too, are not able to replace the caffeine, calcium is readily in our system. It just doesn't attach and it doesn't stay in the bones. Okay, so let's see, hormones. Oh, okay, let's talk about caffeine and sleep. A lot of people have problems sleeping. So if you have problems sleeping and you're a big caffeine user, you want to see if you're on that cycle. So the cycle is this. You drink a lot of caffeine because you're really tired, so you try to stay up all day, right? Try to be attentive, and then at night you can't sleep. You can't sleep, so the next day you need to drink more caffeine. So it's a cycle that never ends. And one thing you need to think about is the half-life of caffeine is about 5 to 7 hours. So that means however much you drink at, say, 4 o'clock, only half of that caffeine is going to be used up by, 4 plus 7 is 11 p.m. So by 11 p.m. you still have half of it left in there. So you still might be feeling a little bit energetic. Maybe not hyper, but energetic, and have a hard time getting into that deep sleep. So depending on your sensitivity, it may be causing you a restless night. Caffeine, a lot of people think that it dehydrates you. It does have a diuretic effect, but it doesn't necessarily dehydrate you, because the water in the coffee or the Monster drink is usually, studies have said, replacing the water you're losing. But if you are dehydrated, if you are working out, I don't know if I would make it the drink that you're drinking while you're working out. It's going to be a personal choice there. Moderate to low levels of caffeine have shown some health benefits. So let me give you a little list of those. It's been suggested that it may have an anti-inflammatory effect. I noticed it with my husband. He's got allergies and a little bit of asthma, and when he drank caffeine, it helped his symptoms get subdued. So they did have found that happen. Another study found that caffeine may reduce the risk of dementia, Parkinson's disease, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, and some cancers. These are preliminary studies, and they're still working on them, so it'll be interesting to see what comes out from these. Caffeine's mildly addictive. I think it's funny that they say it's mildly addictive, because when you try to wean yourself off caffeine, you usually find that you get really bad headaches and fatigue, you get grumpy, and people don't want to be around you. Some people even get mildly depressed and have difficulty concentrating. Okay, because one of the benefits of caffeine is it makes you feel energetic, alert, you have great concentration, it lifts your mood. It's one of the most commonly used mood enhancers in the entire world. So my 2 cents, being addicted to something even mildly to me means you're not in control. So just give it some thought. How much caffeine do you drink a day? And be real. Look at everything. Are you taking, I can't remember what the aspirin or pain reliever was, but there's a pain reliever that has a ton of caffeine in it. And if you're taking it every day and you're saying I don't drink coffee, you're still getting a lot of caffeine. Look at your monster drinks, look at all these different drinks. See how many milligrams are in there. 300 milligrams. That's supposedly the safe top. The safe top. So look at how much you're drinking. And I would dare you to prove it. Put your money where your mouth is and prove that you're not addicted. Prove that you're in control. See if you can wean off of it. Now, if you drink it regularly and you've been drinking it regularly for a while, it's going to take you a good month to wean yourself off. You drink 4 cups a day, cut down to 3. Give yourself at least a week there. Then go down to 2. Maybe stay at 2 for 2 weeks. Then go down to 1. Maybe stay at 1 for another 2 weeks. And then maybe do half a cup. Also note that decaffeinated coffee has the same amount of caffeine approximately as green tea. So while you're detoxing yourself off of, say, drinking too much caffeine on coffee, maybe you start to drink some green tea, some black tea, which have great antioxidants in them, and see if that can help you kind of wean yourself off. So just give yourself a little test and see how it is. I rarely drink coffee. I weaned myself off of coffee very harshly about 3 years ago. I used a very healthy drink to help me get off of caffeine, because once I started drinking this health drink, I didn't need the coffee and the caffeine anymore. But now, every now and then I have coffee, and I notice that when I have it, I'm like crazy because I am very sensitive to it. If I have a cup of coffee, I can't have it afternoon. If I have it at 1 o'clock, forget about it. I am up almost all night the next day. Whoa, craziness. So anyway, that's my 2 cents for today. A little personal sharing too. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Coach Lana, and I'm out of here.